All right, well, interesting day today. We're gonna get up on the high lift and get some work done on the building. What we're gonna do is start taking down the plumbing, take down the cooler, see if hopefully I don't screw up the Genie lift here. I've run one or two. Started off with a bang already, but we got to take down the swamp cooler there. So we're going to start with the swamp cooler right there, and then we're going to take down this piece of wood, the piping. We're going to get up and look at the roof, and because it's New Year's Eve, I got to have it back by 4 o'clock. Otherwise, I'm going to have it for 2 days at $238 a day, which I guess wouldn't be the worst thing if I can get a bunch of stuff done. So we're gonna go set this up, and we're gonna see what this is gonna look like today. And I guess we're good. We're recording. Let's see. I gotta go get my gloves. I'm already forgetting. All right, so this is the first time I'm doing a voiceover, so bear with me on this. Right here, all I'm doing is cleaning stuff up so we can get around to the side of the building and take the cooler down and take a little window cover down and take the old plumbing down. Got to gather up all my tools. That's why you see me back and forth, and there's my famous coffee cup. You'll see that a lot. Anyway, running the high lift here, and it's really slow. If you've ever run these high lifts, you'll know that they're especially in tram mode, when you're up in the air, they're really slow. The boom in and the boom out is pretty slow, so you really have to speed things up. Otherwise, this would have been a 8-hour video. But right here, I'm just taking the cooler panels off, and you see me throwing them on the ground to get rid of them. I'm just trying to see how the cooler's fastened into the building there. The window up above it's just an old plexiglass window, and that cooler probably hasn't been used since either the late 90s, maybe early 2000s, when the building was a smoke shop. And when we first bought the property, there was still a power cord coming out of it and an old hose draining off of it, but I'm sure it hadn't been used in a long time. But I'm just trying to figure out how all the fasteners are in, so I'm taking the screws out that it's fastened in and getting all the extra stuff off of it, seeing if it'll come out easy, and worried about getting it up on the high lift by myself. There's a lot of things, but those high lifts are great for this kind of stuff. They're just pretty amazing for the one-man job. And yeah, I had to rent the high lift to get all the stuff off the building before we could start the buttresses, because the buttresses are going to run up all the way where that old wooden ledger is on the back side of the building, and then some of the old piping, and that piping's just it's old drain pipes and vent pipes coming off the building, and they all needed to come down because they were obviously afterthoughts, remodels. Over time the building was remodeled. There was conduit outside, run outside stud wiring in it, and the plumbing and the vent stacks, and it was before the days of PVC, so that tells you how old it is. It's all cast iron, and some of it's galvanized pipe, but it just shows you how old it is, and it's been there a while. So I still haven't gotten around to doing any research on the building. I need to go spend a day down at the museum and then just see. Hey, Mike. That was one of our tenants who's always worried about being in trouble. We've just had to have him turn his TV down a few times, that's all. Anyway, back to the high lift. Right there, I'm working on the little cover over the window. And what they had done was they kind of framed it out, and then they stuccoed and they put a rock veneer over the top of it. So it was not very well supported. So that's what I'm bringing down right there, taking off. And it was way too heavy for just a couple 2x4s. And you see me put it on the side of the building, just gathering up some other stuff. It's going slowly. All right, well, we're gonna go see. We're gonna go see if that dude's if it's I'm tired already. It's early. We gotta go see if that cooler is mounted inside somehow. All right, to the front of the building. It's much better looking than the first time I was up here. Gotta find the right key. I'm gonna sit there. Sorry. All right. Oh, yeah, it's ugly. All right, so like we still got some raccoons running around somewhere. Everyone's probably saying, "Oh my gosh, Eric, what the f are you doing here?" So let's see. I literally think this thing is just caulked in. I do. It's just gonna be a sawzall job, I think. Just a sawzall job. Everything's disconnected. Well, oh, did I just say that? I did, huh? All right. Okay, well, I don't know if we've ever, it's ugly. The floor is, they used particle board, and that was freaking stupid. It's cleaner now than it was when we first bought the place. But see the holes in the ceiling? Yeah, that's not good. We're gonna see if we can do something about that today. And it's dissolving the plaster. The water's dissolving the plaster on that wall. See that? So that's not good. They used to have a wood burning stove, a sink over there, heater there. It's not a very big space. Bathroom there. It's freaking scary. But anyway, it looks like the joists look actually okay from here. So we're gonna have to see. All this has got to come out. That's okay. We get the buttresses up, all this is gonna come out. Cool, cool. All right, there. You see that cooler right there? All right, well, here we go. Here goes nothing. We're gonna get a little Western with it, man. We're gonna get a little Western with it. There it is, man. There it is. Yep, I think we can get it from the bottom now. Oh, hello down there. Oh. Man. That's a false wall. That's a freaking false wall. Wonder what's back there. Oh, that's gonna be interesting. Probably a dead raccoon. Excuse my language. Shit everywhere in here. All right, here we go, man. Alright, yeah, I drink lots of coffee. You'll see that cup or one of my other cups in probably every video. Anyway, we're up here trying to get this cooler down without hurting myself or anybody else. And since I usually just work by myself, it's usually just worrying about hurting me. Anyway, it did. It came out pretty quick, pretty easy, and it was kind of precarious balancing out on the high lift. Now, fortunately, we got up there and I was able to run the high lift and get her thrown down on the ground. And one more piece of junk I gotta haul somewhere. Fortunately, we got a scrapper. Yeah, she's back now, Mike. Yeah, absolutely. She said she would. So you see that little cover above the window there? It was a little awning, and that's why I moved the camera to get a little better angle on it. And if I had thought about it, I would have taken the camera up there with me. But like I've said before, I'm no videographer, so I don't know. You know, I'm learning. Let's just say that. So I don't think about that kind of stuff. I just set the camera up kind of where you can see it. And I think that's good enough. And then I go back and I look at these videos and I'm like, man, I should have done this, I should have done that, I should have done something else. So in the future, we'll start doing that. We'll start taking cameras with us, get close-up views and close-up shots and things like that, because that's what I like to watch. So we'll do that in the future. Anyway, we had to take down that little window awning. It was just framed up with a couple 2x4s sticking out of the rock. And then from that, it had just a piece of plywood. It had some mortar on it and some real flat veneer rocks laid into it. And it wasn't supported well enough to support that weight with the rocks on top of it. So actually, I think getting that down was actually heavier than the cooler. It was pretty heavy with all those rocks on it. So right now, I'm just working on that pipe. And you know, we had to use, I use that term collectively. It's just we, as in me, myself, and I, had to use a grinder and the Sawzall and hammers to get all that old plumbing out. And that plumbing I'm working on right there it's when it was the old rock building was a cafe. There was a kitchen on that side of the building, and that was the sink drain. So that was a sink vent and drain. So it goes up to the vent and then down to drain into there's a cast iron pipe there that actually runs the whole perimeter of the building right next to the foundation. And like when I dug into the footers, I dug through that pipe and took it out of there. I actually did all of these, all the plumbing and electrical after the building was done. You can tell because they literally just busted holes in the side of the building, both for the electrical, for conduit we took out, and all this plumbing. None of it, well, there's some plumbing is internal, but anytime they did any kind of addition or renovation, they just went outside and piped it in or wired it in with conduit. So there was a lot of this, and we'll have to fix all those holes in the building, because everything we do is going to be internal, and it'll all be hidden in the door joists, or the floor joists, excuse me, door joists. That'd be a door jamb, is a door joist, I guess, right? And so we'll do all of it internal. There's a whole building. I don't know if I guess we'll be able to see a lot. All right, let's get her done. So all I'm doing here is just getting everything cleaned up and out of the way, so I can start pulling all the plumbing and that old ledger board off the back of the building, getting the high lift all set up. That's it. Like I said, hopefully I don't have to move my trailer. So all we're doing now is we're getting ready to take everything we can off the back of the rock building, and we're gonna start with the little pieces of wood up above. And I apologize because probably can't see them very well. So two issues I had. I recorded this in the 4:3 format, and it should be the 16:9. So it'd probably look better on a laptop in full screen, or even better yet, watch it on your TV. Then you can see everything, because the detail is actually pretty good. I'm using some GoPro cameras. But up above, I'm taking off those little pieces of wood that were they were part of the old porch, and that old porch, it hadn't been there in probably 40 or 50 years, and we only know that because of the elm tree that used to be there. So look back in my footers video, and you can see there was a big old elm tree, but it was already dying, and then every footer we dug, it just we kept getting in the roots, so it made it worse and worse. But right there, I'm taking off that little angle piece of it's like 1.5 and 2-inch discharge pipes, drain waste pipes, and I'm not even sure what that went to. It was kind of odd. There's nothing in the building upstairs, but we had to cut out the first bottom section when we poured that first footer there just to the left of the door. So I'm taking all that off, and I have no idea. It looks like it was probably for sinks, but there's nothing in the old rock building, and it was down at about floor level. So, you know, I used like I said, my die grinder quite a bit, my Sawzall a little bit, to get all this stuff off of there. And there you see I'm trying to unscrew it out of the building, and it just took some work to actually get it out of the building. And like once again, if I hadn't sped all this up, it's going like, I think 5.5 times faster than normal. This literally would have been an 8-hour video. And you can see me taking some of the bolts off, the nuts off the ledger board there that used to hold up the porch. So we're just got to get all that stuff off, because when we start on the buttresses, they're going to be above that ledge. They'll be above the first floor, and just above where that ledger board is, we've got to put in a support beam. So we're going to go with that 6x6 square tubing, because I found some of that at least kind of reasonable for steel right now. But there, you know, I'm all the way out of the picture there. I'm up working on the very top piece on the roof, and that high lift, I think that was about a 45-foot high lift, which isn't the biggest I've ever run. The first JLG high lift I ran was a 90-footer, and we were able to use that underground in some of our big open stopes, and we'd be knocking down loose rocks 90 feet in the air. Oh, thank God for PVC. This shit's heavy. All right, what we have going now is we're getting the high lift all adjusted where we want it, so we can get square to the building. We're going to start pulling that 3-inch cast iron vent stack there. And sometimes, if you've ever ran these high lifts, you know, it takes a couple stabs to get it just where you want it. You want to keep it level. You want to keep it as flat as you can. There's a little bit of a hump there. I kept going up. And then the controls don't want to, if you get off balance, the controls don't work. It's an anti-tip setup safety device they have on those. But we're able to get all the way up there to the roof and work on that vent stack. And what I was doing was trying to cut it with the die grinder, put enough of a cut into it that I could break it. Now, it's a cool thing about cast iron is if you take a hammer to it, a double jack, actually a sledgehammer, double jack is a mining term we use for them, but I think I had an 8-pound sledgehammer with me, so I put a little cut because I was trying to save as much as I can, because if we ever reuse those, we might use them inside. If we ever have to run any plumbing inside the house, I think that'd give it kind of a cool industrial look, so I was trying to save it. So I put a little slice with a die grinder in it, and then I whacked it with the sledgehammer, and it breaks about where you put the slice. So if you don't put a little notch in it, then it's just going to break wherever, but they will break. And there's also a piece of conduit next to it that I cut off. It came out the same hole and went up through the roof, and then the conduit actually ran all the way along the roof. Now I'm just cleaning things up because I'm going to reposition the camera, and I dropped some stuff that I had taken down off the roof. So I'm getting ready to put the camera over there on that little table, so it gives you a little better angle. And like I said, I'm going to work on this where I can get you better shots and closer shots and whatnot. But this sledgehammer trick I actually learned on this old house from the plumber. They were removing a bunch of old cast iron pipe, and the trick was to hit it on the corners with the sledgehammer and break, and they were just scrapping it all. They weren't going to reuse it. They were just getting rid of it and running PVC pipe for whatever they were doing. I have no idea. I needed the sledgehammer. That's where I had to pick up the sledgehammer right there. So I'm going back up now, and I got the notches, and I'm gonna start beating on the pipe pretty soon, and we're gonna have a little success. But yeah, I learned it from Richard, the plumber, on this old house. You know, we all used to watch that 20 years ago. I still watch it, I'll be honest. I like it. A lot of good tips and tricks on it. So shout out to those guys, they're amazing. But yeah, we just about got that 3-inch stack off of there. And now we're just taking off some of the other just little miscellaneous stuff. Loosened up that ledger board there, and there were some pieces of there was a conduit elbow sticking out right next to the 3-inch pipe. So we got rid of that stuff, and then we're going to move on to getting the rest of it out. All right, here we go. Thumbs up. So we got to take that ledger down. A chunk of wood there that was supporting the bottom of the porch. If you see where there's an old porch. Then we'll get the rest of the pipes and the conduit out. Then we're gonna go look at the roof, and then we'll see if we can get our high lift back before 4 o'clock. It's almost noon right now. Otherwise, I gotta rent it for another day. All right, well, here we go. We're gonna get up there back in the high lift and get it all maneuvered around again, which takes quite a while. Like I said, if you ever run one of these, it's back and forth, in and out, up and down, swing the basket sideways. They're wonderful, but they are just kind of time consuming, little slow. Anyway, we're getting that ledger down. It's about 24 feet long. It's a good old piece of wood. It's been up there, I think, since the building was brand new. So we're going to take those down, and then we'll just about have everything off that back of the building there. There's one more little piece of conduit in between the second and third window there, and that ends up coming out also. I can't help but look at my coffee cup in this image and think about that. I've had that cup probably 15 years, and people have bought me new ones and replacements, and I seem to go back, especially when I'm working. That's kind of my working coffee cup, but it fits my hand really well. I don't know if you've noticed, but I'm missing 1 1/4 fingers on my right hand. So without that index finger, my hand's a little smaller. So that cup actually fits my hand pretty well. So for someone that drinks as much coffee as me, it kind of makes a difference. So we're just getting back moved in again, and there I'm cutting out that last piece of conduit, which still had wiring. And like I said, it came down across the roof and back into the building. So it still had wiring in it. So I'm getting it all cut out, and then we're going to get up on the roof and see if we can start patching it a little bit. What we ended up doing, because you've seen the holes from the inside, is we put up some tarps, and we just put boards down across the tarps to hold them. Then I think I took a bunch of blocks up there to help hold them down. So we've got tarps up there now, and haven't had any rain. Go figure. Put the tarps up, haven't had any rain. Had a little snow, so that's good. We just got to keep the moisture off it. That's the most important thing. Right on, just about ready to move into the next little shot here. So we'll check it out. Alright, well, I think with the sun being up, this is probably the best view I can get. Otherwise, we'll be looking right in the sun. And going up on the roof, you're going to hear the highway noise. I just finished up getting some tarp down, temporary roof support or roof covering, whatever. Alright, well, here we go. Well, as you can see, it's obviously not the best placement for my camera. Like I said, I'm learning. Had I known more when I did this, I would have taken it up on the roof with me. But all I'm doing there is I've already got the tarps up. I put them up from the back side, and I'm just getting them all pulled down, pulled straight, pulled flat, and then I'm just nailing some furring strips over them to hold everything down. And then I end up throwing some blocks up there, so they haven't gone anywhere so far. And I did this on December 31st, so seems to be working. Hey all, well, thanks for watching. Thanks for getting all the way through this one. This is my longest video yet. And as you could probably tell, I'm not in Tier C anymore. Look behind me, there's some tall trees. There's a little snow. It looks cold because it is cold. We had to come home for a few days, so we're in the mountains. Anyway, you can probably hear the heater running. Duke's running around down here somewhere. And speaking of Duke, my brother says, hey, how come we don't see Duke in your videos? Well, can you say hi, Duke? Say hi, Duke. Yeah, there's Duke. All right, now Duke's in one of my videos. That's just for you, brother. Anyway, I gotta apologize, guys. If you made it through this video, kudos to you, because it's still in the 4:3 format, and I'm learning, and the camera placements, the camera angles, they're not always very good. So we're gonna get better. We will get better, and the videos will get better, and I'll quit, putting the camera right at my back, where you just see see me from behind doing all my work. And let's see, what else do we got? In this video, I was cussing a lot that day, and I apologize for that, because I'm trying to get better at that too. So anyway, we're gonna work on that. And my coffee cup, my son mentioned, he said, Dad, how come you're using your old coffee cup? I got you a new coffee cup for Christmas. Well, son, I'll put your coffee cup in my next video. Now that I'm up in the mountains and it was here, I'll pick it up. So stay tuned, guys. Next video is going to be on the buttresses, and it'll probably take 2 videos to get through it, because it was a lot. There's a lot of filming, there's a lot of work. It took me a long time. So a couple videos on that. And once again, I just want to say thanks. I'm Eric. This is Steel and Stone Restoration, and look for our buttress video next week.